Hi, boys and girls. We are going to start activity book page 2.3 today, and this is a contrasting organizer. Contrasting, if you remember, shows differences. So when we contrast, however you want to say it, two or more things, we're showing how they are different. So what we're going to do, we're going to look at the first text that we did, which was in the reader, chapter 1 in your reader. Then we're going to look at our second text for excerpts. So I'm going to read these excerpts from the read aloud that we did together during our live session. So this is taken from that read aloud. What I want you to do on this organizer is to come up with 4 differences. 4 things that you find different between chapter 1, the information we had in chapter 1, and the information we're getting in the read aloud information. So you're going to want to have chapter 1 out right next to you. And you're also going to want to have this out. And as I'm reading, if something strikes you as, oh, I don't think it was like that in chapter 1, I want you to write it down. So you should have 4 bullet points going down here showing how it was in text 1 and how it was in text 2. And then you're going to submit activity book 2.3, okay? So let me read the excerpts from the read aloud. What is light? Samuel lifted himself out of his garden chair and stood beneath the giant oak. As he stood, he gazed out into his beautiful garden that was bursting with color and scent and began to speak. Our main source of light and heat is the sun, a hot star of glowing gas. Samuel smiled as he went on. Light illuminates objects and makes them visible. Light spreads out in all directions. Because of light, our eyes and our brains are able to form pictures of the world we live in. I have spent my life painting those pictures. Light gives us every sunrise and every sunset. Without light, there is only darkness. Jack stared up into the sky. I've always wondered how exactly light reaches us here on Earth. The sun is more than 92 million miles away. Light travels in the form of tiny waves called light waves, explained Samuel. These light waves travel in straight paths called rays. Rays of light waves travel at the fastest speed possible in a vacuum, a place that has no tiny particles or bits of matter. Because most of outer space has very few particles, it is a vacuum, and light travels there at the remarkable speed of approximately 186,000 miles a second. Light from the sun reaches Earth because it can pass so quickly through outer space. There is almost nothing to block its path. Once light reaches Earth's atmosphere, it slows down a little bit. The atmosphere is like a blanket of air full of gases and moisture that covers the Earth. This blanket of air slows the light down. Then, Samuel continued, the speed of light slows down even more because objects start getting in the way of the light rays. Samuel pointed to the lemonade. For example, rays of light waves move more slowly when traveling through liquids, such as this lemonade. Then Samuel pointed to the oak tree. Light waves cannot pass through other objects, such as this beautiful oak tree. Because rays of light waves travel in a straight line, they cannot bend around the tree either. Instead, they leave a shadow or shade on the other side of it. Another important thing to remember is light is fuel for our planet, announced Samuel. Light is energy. Energy from the sun supports all forms of life on this planet. Without light and heat from the sun, the farmer would not have food to harvest. In fact, we could not exist on Earth. Isn't it amazing that stars make their own light, but the moon does not? Sunlight bounces off the moon to make it look like it's shining brightly in the night sky, mused Samuel. Of course, I could sit here all night and talk about why light is so important, not only for myself as a painter, but also for our very existence, he said contemplatively, meaning he was thinking hard. So, as you're writing down 4 differences, I want you to think about how the text is presented, what kind of information they're giving us, what they use to give us that information, okay? And I want you to do the very best you can. 4 is your goal. If you get 3, great. If you get 1, try a little harder, but 4 is your goal, all right? I can't wait to see what you come up with.